Our next performer is actually going to be a little bit of a break from the competition. This is an incredibly special performer. This is someone who first broke out by completely turning America's Got Talent on its head, and then he became a social media musical comedy virtuoso in his own right. But what's so exciting to me is that he's my co-host and my friend. Everybody, Ben Lapidus.
Now let me ask y'all a question. When you can't sleep, but it's too cold to sleep without the blanket, and too hot to sleep with the blanket, what do? You put a cold leg out. I was so cold, shivering underneath the sheets last night when I went to bed. But then I got so hot, I was schwitzing in my sleep, so I threw the covers off instead. But then I got so cold, so I got under the sheets. And then I got so hot, and so the cycle would repeat. And I figured I'd be up all night until I had my brilliant insight. I put a cold leg out, and it felt so good. I put a cold leg out, I never knew that I could. I know it's a little unorthodox, but it feels just right, like Goldilocks, and that's what I'm talking about. If you can't get the balance right, just put a cold leg out. I was talking to a pretty little lady down at the bar on a Saturday night. I said, hey, how'd you like to come home with me? She said, okay, but I'll need a ride. As we drove down the road, things were getting hot and heavy, and I thought I'd blow my load right there inside my Chevy. She was tugging on my jeans, but I couldn't tell her stop, so I opened up my car door and I let that sucker drop. I put a cold leg out. She said, what's wrong with you? I put a cold leg out. I said, girl, I had to. I know it's a little atypical, but busting so soon's just pitiful, and that's what I'm talking about. If you think you're gonna cream your pants, just put a cold leg out. And me and my war buddy Jimmy were under attack behind enemy lines. We were outgunned, outmanned, lost in a foreign land, looking for somewhere to hide. We took cover in a foxhole. I thought we made it out scot-free, but then I saw a grenade with its pin already pulled tumble toward Jimmy and me. Jimmy pushed me out of harm's way, and he threw himself on top of it. I was unscathed, but Jimmy was the opposite. I held his bleeding body. I said, you saved my life. He said, don't mention it. Just promise me you'll take care of my kids and my wife. As soon as I got back from the war, I went to Jimmy's house and knocked on the door. Jimmy's wife, Mary, well, she knew instantly. She said, he's dead, isn't he? And I said, Mary, Jimmy saved me from the blast that killed him. And in his final moments, he told me to take care of you and the children. And that's exactly what I plan to do. Mary, I'm here for you. So I patched up the roof and cleaned out the gutters. I packed the kids' lunches and fixed them suppers. I did it all, and I did it gladly. Pretty soon the little ones were calling me daddy. Mary started looking at me differently. I remember that Christmas Eve. After the kids went to bed, we were stuffing stockings, and Mary said, you've been such a good man to me. You know you're part of this family, and I never thought I'd fall for someone new, but I think I'm in love with you. The next day, I bought her a ring. She said yes, and then that spring, we tied the knot under the altar. I was so happy then. We all were. But when I lost my job at the factory and all the memories of war came back to me, I started drinking to take the pain away. And then one day, after a week-long bender, I came home to Mary waiting by the door. She said, "Where have you been? You had me worried sick. I can't put up with this no more. How many drinks have you had just this morning?" I said, "I've only had one or two. Not like you've got any right asking me after everything I've done for you." She said, "The only thing you've ever done for me is tear my family apart. I was dead inside after Jimmy died. You took advantage of my broken heart." She said, "I never should have let you in. And I wish you died instead of him." Well, I flipped the kitchen table, I threw the good china on the floor, put my fist right through the drywall, and I kicked open the door. And I put a cold leg out, it works every time. Put a cold leg out, ain't no reason or rhyme. I know it's a little illogical, but it works so well, it's comical, and that's what I'm talking about. If you witness your war buddy Jimmy sacrifice his life to save yours, and then you make a promise to take care of his family, but end up falling in love with his wife, and to cope with the trauma of war, you succumb to alcohol abuse, which turns you into a monster and makes you hurt the very people you promised to protect. Just put a cold leg out. Woo!
All right, we'll be back with some more IRL in a minute.
Brother Maury, Brother Wolf, it's time to stop singing for a brief moment and to tell people our message.
Yes. There's a hairy alien that lives in the woods.
And they mistake him for the
Hello.
Sasquatch.
That's what people, and he dresses like a lumberjack to blend in with the townspeople there.
And he fed us all this wonderful knowledge that we're really excited to share with you. We've been writing all of our music about it, and we're just so happy that IRL let us use their very high platform to share our new message. We know Brother Tim knows what we're talking about, so thank you.
Just remember what we told you on this night about the hairy alien in the woods.
Yeah.